This is Money in the Bank. Every superstar in the WWE dreams of competing in this match because the prize is unlike any other in the company. The men and women inside this ring tonight are fighting for a briefcase. But what makes this briefcase so special? Well, let me explain. This briefcase hangs above the ring suspended by a rope. And no, it's not just any briefcase. It contains a contract that will guarantee whoever has it a championship match. That superstar can then cash in their contract at any time they want. They can do it during a live WWE event, or even a house show. They can do it in the main event, or the dark match. They can do it in the ring, or at ringside. They can do it in the parking lot, or even in the middle of the crowd. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, and doesn't matter who the champion is. The holder of this briefcase can call the shots. So now you know why everyone is fighting so hard to get their hands on this briefcase. Let us go back to the very first Money in the Bank match held all the way back in 2005. We were promised an inside look at how Mr. Money in the Bank actually works. Now we see Chris Jericho standing in front of the briefcase. We see him climb the ladder. We see him grab the briefcase. We also see a confused-looking Eugene standing nearby. Heyman asks Eugene what he's doing, and Eugene says he wants to help Chris Jericho. So Eugene grabs another ladder. Heyman screams at Eugene to get away from Jericho, but Eugene ignores him, and he places his ladder against the turnbuckle. He climbs up, and he begins unhooking the briefcase. What's he doing? Why is he doing this? Well, if you're watching this, you already know the answer. Eugene was always mentally challenged. He wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he had a heart of gold. Even though Eugene didn't understand what was going on, he still wanted to help out his friend Chris Jericho. Thankfully for Eugene, Chris Jericho had his best friend Christian there to stop him. Christian pulls Eugene off the ladder before he could do any damage. Back at ringside, Heyman announces that the briefcase can only be opened once someone successfully climbs the ladder and grabs it. Eugene looks sad, but he understands. Then he walks away slowly. Everyone begins climbing the ladder again, and they're all fighting over it. Heyman gets into the ring, and he tells them they have to wait until someone grabs the briefcase. As soon as someone grabs the briefcase, Heyman will open it. Finally, Chris Jericho is able to grab the briefcase, but right after he does, Edge comes out of nowhere, and he knocks him off the ladder. Edge opens the briefcase, and guess what? There's nothing in it. No contract, no championship opportunity. Why? Because Edge was in cahoots with Heyman. From the moment the match began, Heyman kept telling Edge what was about to happen. He told Edge which ladder to use, when to climb, and even which turnbuckle to climb on. In fact, Heyman was the one who convinced WWE management to let him organize this match in the first place. Edge had a briefcase of his own, but it wasn't the one that hung above the ring. Edge's briefcase was under the ring. He used it to store his own contract. And according to the contract, Edge was guaranteed a World Championship match at SummerSlam. Thanks to Heyman's help, Edge was one step closer to winning his first world title. For the next few months, Edge would use this contract to make the top stars tap out. Sometimes he would threaten to cash in, other times he would actually do it. But every time he did, he would walk away with a victory. After he beat Ricky Steamboat with the help of the briefcase, William Regal came out to complain. He demanded that Edge be stripped of his briefcase, and that a new Money in the Bank match be held. Regal understood that Edge had a championship opportunity thanks to this briefcase, so he wanted to make things fair. And since Edge had already used the briefcase twice, he felt like the best thing to do was to take it away and start over. How? But it wasn't just Regal who was furious about Edge's actions. It was the entire WWE universe. They booed Edge every time he took out a top star. They especially hated how he treated the legendary Ricky Steamboat. Edge had ended Steamboat's career, but at least he made sure that Ricky went out on top. Instead of retiring with a loss, he retired with a win. And that win happened thanks to the Money in the Bank contract. Edge won the match, but he didn't win the contract. Edge lost the contract. Remember, the contract was under the ring. So after Steamboat pinned Edge, he immediately reached under the ring and grabbed the briefcase. Then he ran away as fast as he could. Backstage, he met up with Paul Heyman, and they celebrated together. In the following weeks, Regal kept demanding a rematch, but he never got one. Instead, he was sent into pointless matches against the likes of Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. But those two weren't the only ones who benefited from the briefcase. Another man who benefited was none other than King Booker. When King Booker became the WWE champion, he became the first ever WWE superstar to hold both the briefcase and the championship. At first, he tried to use it to defeat Shawn Michaels, but it didn't work. Later, he faced Batista, and he used the briefcase to escape. Then he took out Undertaker and Rey Mysterio. Mysterio had a chance to win the briefcase back in a triple threat match, but he failed. King Booker retained his briefcase. That is until he lost it to CM Punk in a 2 out of 3 falls match. With the briefcase in hand, CM Punk was finally getting closer to his ultimate goal, becoming the WWE Champion. Unfortunately, before he could cash in, he injured his ankle and his opportunity was taken away. Fortunately for Punk, he didn't have to wait too long for another shot. He competed in the Money in the Bank match later that year, and he won. And this time he waited. He waited until Randy Orton turned on John Cena and betrayed the Nexus. Once Orton was finally the champion, CM Punk cashed in his briefcase. It was the perfect time. Not only was Orton a heel, but he had just fought John Cena for almost 30 minutes. Punk attacked Orton, and in less than a minute, he was the new WWE Champion. But that wasn't the only noteworthy Money in the Bank match that year. Earlier that night, Alexa Bliss won her first ever Money in the Bank match. She was the youngest woman to ever compete, and the youngest person overall. After she won, Alexa Bliss would cash in her contract on the returning Eva Lynn from Total Divas fame. Alexa pinned Eva to become the new WWE Women's Champion. In recent years, the Money in the Bank briefcase has remained dormant. That's because WWE has changed the way it operates. Nowadays, the briefcase is only around during the month of July. Every year, there's a Money in the Bank event and the winners get a championship opportunity. For example, last year, Big E won the men's Money in the Bank match, and 6 months later, he cashed in his briefcase on Bobby Lashley. Just like Punk did to Randy Orton, Big E took advantage of a tired Lashley, and he walked away with the WWE Championship. Similarly, Nikki Ash won the Women's Money in the Bank, which last year and 9 months later she cashed in her briefcase on Charlotte Flair. Flair had just defended her title against Sasha Banks, so Nikki took advantage of a fatigued Charlotte, and she became the new WWE Women's Champion. Speaking of Charlotte, she's actually the most successful Money in the Bank winner in history. She's won the match a record 5 times. The men's record is currently shared by 3 superstars, Rob, Booker T, Dolph Ziggler, and John Morrison. All of them have won twice. Do you think we'll see more 2-time winners? How about 3-time winners? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching this episode of WWE 365. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button to never miss an upload.